This is cool. Okay, so this is telephone conversation was Wole Soyinka. It's one of his famous poems. We read it in primary school. Have you read it before?
No.
Okay, it's one of his famous. He lived in the UK, London, in the 50s, and those times there was plenty of racism. Then, I mean, his first child was by a white woman, but he said every time they were walking together in the street, people would be making funny sounds like, "So this black guy and a white woman, mixed baby. What are they thinking?" You know, racism was very, very, very prevalent, and they won't give them houses if they knew you were black. They won't give you. So he wrote a poem called "Telephone Conversation," which detailed his conversation with his landlady. He was going to get a room, so he called the landlady up, and sometime during the conversation, he said, "I hate a wasted journey. I'm an African." And the woman kept quiet for a while. And then she said, "How dark are you? Are you very dark or are you very light?" So he found it very funny. And instead of answering the question straight, he said, "Actually, it depends. Because the palm of my hand and the sole of my feet, they are of a different color than the back of like my backside." So he started making fun of the woman's own prejudice and said, "Madam, why don't you come and see for yourself? Come and see how black my ass is, my hands, stuff like that." So it was a very funny poem and it's very sarcastic. But he called it for conversation. Just he detailed the conversation between him and the woman. So I thought about it a few weeks ago about changing the subject matter because racism is no more as prevalent as it used to be. Now it doesn't care if you had money, nobody cares. You're black, you're white, you're green. Just bring the money and let's get you out. I mean, people are still racist, but it's not as prevalent as it used to be. And that was London then. So I thought of changing the subject matter from racism, so I changed it to something totally different. So it's still the same telephone conversation. I changed the name from telephone conversation to chat, call. I also changed the situation from a telephone to a conversation on the computer between two people. Now, I told you I've changed the subject from racism. I won't tell you what I changed it to. Maybe when you listen to it, you might be able to tell. But the form and everything else remain the same except for those things that define it as either racist or anything else. So now this is a woman. In the first poem, it was a man calling a landlady. This is a woman speaking with a man in the chat call. They had never met. So this questions the kind of... I'm going to try to use my voice to be able to tell you who is speaking and who is not. So maybe you'll be able to get it. And then I'll explain it afterwards. The voice seemed reasonable. Locution different. The young man swore he lived close by. Nothing remained but self-confession. "Gentleman," I warned, "I hate a wasted journey. I am heavy." Silence. Silence, transmission of pressurized good breathing. Voice, when it came, huffy. Short minted breath as a husky radio man. Caught I was foully. "How fat?" I had not misheard. "Are you curvy or very fat?" Control Alt Delete. Stench of rancid sweat drops on electronic bead mats of login chat. Black paint. Black metal board. Black double-rimmed PC's glittering screen. It was real. Shamed by ill-mannered silence, surrender pushed dumbfoundment to beg simplification. Considerate he was, varying the emphasis. "Are you fat or very curvy?" Revelation came. "You mean like old or modern Rubentian?" His accent was clinical, crushing in his light, impersonality. Rapidly, wavelength adjusted, I chose West African portliness as an afterthought. Down in my profile, silence for spectroscopic flight of fancy, till truthfulness clanged his accents hard on the microphone. "What's that?" Conceding. "I don't know what that is." "Like chubby." "That's fat, isn't it?" "Not altogether. Facially I'm plump, but man, you should see the rest of me. The wrist of my hand, ankles of my feet are merely corpulent. Gravity caused, foolishly man, by sitting down too much, has turned my bottom rotund. One moment, please. Sensing the keyboard rasp away and the thunderclap about my ears. "Come on, man," I pleaded. "Wouldn't you rather see for yourself?" That's the end. I mean, the structure remains totally the same. Only a few words change to reflect the different. So I imagine a man and a woman chatting and never met each other for the first time, and then the woman says, "Actually, I'm big." And in this present day, that's what matters. I mean, that's what people think about these days. Boys say, "No, I don't want to marry a big woman." And what is big anyway? What does it matter? Why does it matter? Should it matter? But many people think about it as something.